12 roads across Nigeria are to be handed to private companies to maintain and operate. The Ministry of Works and Housing is finalizing the plans to split the roads between 75 firms. Chinemerem Joseph reports.
Building Nigeria's maintenance culture, that's what the government is trying to achieve on major roads in the country. It hopes to do this through an initiative that will maintain 12 key highways across the 6 geopolitical zones. The plan is to use private companies and their resources to manage these roads. These are the roads up for concession under the first phase. They include Benin to Asaba, Abuja Lokoja and Kano Katsina. There is also Enugu Port Harcourt, Lagos Otta, Abeokuta and Onitsha Owerri Aba. A bidding process has just been concluded and 75 Nigerian companies have been selected. These firms will turn these roads into commercial assets, charging motorists to use them.
The roads need to be maintained and they need to be operated as well. So we need to concession this to free up government, fiscal burden on government for competing priorities. So a lot is being done on the federal high roads as we speak, but we need more to be done. And in that we are inviting the private sector to participate.
Officials say the evaluation process is still underway and companies will be assessed on their technical and financial abilities.
Financial information for evaluation will be agreed upon by the committee, but notably we have to know that the FRS and the other regulations of the country will also be called.
The evaluation process is just about to start. At the end of the evaluation process, then we will communicate with those that have been pre-qualified.
The government hopes the project will create 250,000 jobs. But for motorists, it will also mean a return to toll gates on the nation's roads. Chinemerem Joseph, Arise News.
Well, thank you very much, Chinemerem. The Director of Transport Infrastructure at the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Emmanuel Onwodi, joins us now. Emmanuel, glad to have you join us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Let's start this with 12 roads have been chosen, 75 firms. Tell us what the criteria was.
Okay, so thank you very much, first of all, for having me on this program to talk about the project, start the HDMI.
Yep.
That is the Highway Management, Highway Development and Management Initiative of the government. This is based on the initiative of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, in line with its responsibility on road network. They came up with this land value capture initiative tagged HDMI, and the idea is to bring in private sector capital so that they can free up the resources from government and introduce the efficiency of the private sector into our road management system, where the private sector can now come in and put their capital at risk, operate and manage these roads, but however creating value along the right of way on this project. So the criteria was very simple. We had a portal, a well-tested portal that bidders were asked to go on the portal, register, go through about 8 steps, putting all the information and then submit. Interestingly, over 400 and something, companies.
Private firms.
Yes, they assessed but eventually only about 75%, only about 75 of them were able to submit. At the end of yesterday, Monday night.
And all of them Nigerian firms?
Over 90% of them are Nigerian firms. They're also into consortiums, coming up with different kinds of arrangement. But we went through a 2-stage process. We are doing an RFQ and then an RFP. An RFQ is a request for qualification, which is the process, the stage we are in now. So luckily, we've been able to pre-qualify 75 firms. Essentially, the next thing to do is to evaluate these firms. And then we've set the evaluation criteria. Those who meet the pass mark will then move into the next stage, the RFP. They will be issued with the RFP, asking them to submit their technical and financial proposal. based on which we will then end up with preferred and reserved bidder for each of the routes. And then I'm sure...
Do you have systems that would check, and cross-check, confirm their claims as far as the issue of financial muscle is concerned? Because a lot of people, have been left disappointed with the privatization of the power sector, and they've been questioning that. But help us understand, because the word concessioning keeps coming up. Why is concessioning preferred to outright privatization? Because this doesn't seem like outright privatization.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
The word concessioning comes in as that's why ICRC is actually set up to do, to ensure that government is able to enter into concession arrangement with the private sector. The idea is that after a period of time, when the private sector has been able to recoup their investment and made some significant returns on investment, they're able to return these assets back to the government. So the ownership of the government returns to the government. So the concession is usually for a period of time, which is scientifically proven through running of models to determine when they're able to recoup their investment and then to return.
But is the idea not defeated totally if it still has to come back to government? Because, everyone knows government has no business in business.
So then government then decides what to do next with the assets.
Let me add this.
But don't forget, the idea is that government frees out itself from resources.
All right, I was going to come to it, but we're not even have time together. But let me ask this. Confirm, or Emmanuel, or otherwise, that some of the roads to be concessioned are almost at 95% completion. What is the wisdom in concessioning roads at this stage of completion, especially when you factor in the fact that people are going to be told? They're going to be told, people are going to pay tolls. Okay. Confirm that. What's the wisdom? 95% is almost done.
So we're looking at the entire network, federal road network, about over 35,000 kilometers. Yeah. We're looking at below 2,000, about 1,963 kilometers. And this is just a pilot phase. Okay. And these are existing roads. These are not greenfield, these are brownfield, which means that they are existing roads that require some form of rehabilitation, some upscaling, some additional investment to bring it up to, and then to create value. Because what we're doing now is the value added concession. We're looking at existing road and we're saying to ourselves, how do we bring in the private sector to create value along that route? So businesses can then spring up. We're creating over 250,000 jobs, 50,000 direct, 200,000 direct jobs. We're bringing in as much as 1.1 trillion quantum of naira, into the system, and many other investments. We're developing way bridges. We're going to be having gantries and road signages. We're going to be having, so many other things will come up. Businesses will come up. Small scale. The idea by the Honorable Minister is to ensure that the Nigerians, get
we're going to talk about
benefits, etc. But the ICRC process is very simple. We have certified these 12 projects. We issued an OBC, which is the outline business case. At the end of the procurement phase, we'll issue them with the full business case. We'll negotiate, we'll do a due diligence on each of them, and we're sure that there's value for money for the government.
I hope so.
We want to appreciate the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, the Honorable Minister of State, and his team, the directors, and of course their aides working with them. ICRC will continue to support this project to make sure there's value for money. Thank you,
Emmanuel Onwodi. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you can regulate in terms of quality and, of course, so many things. All right.